Wednesday, December 5th. Tonight, on The National, burning their dead. People are still dying in a poisoned Indian city. The Nicaragua Manual, a congressional committee says the CIA broke the law. And on The Journal, strangers in town, the Moonies on Grand Manan. Members of this religious cult are raising eyebrows and suspicions on this East Coast island. The National with Knowlton Nash.
Good evening. Smoke from 1,000 funeral pyres filled the sky in Bhopal, India today. And there'll be more funerals tomorrow and the day after that. The after effects of the cyanide gas leak are horrifying. 2,000 people are dead already. 50,000 are now known to be injured, and many of them may go blind. Jonathan Mann reports.
So many people died in Bhopal this week, traditional funeral services had to be abandoned. Today, Muslims dug mass graves for their dead on the same open patch of ground used by Hindus to cremate their loved ones. A man grieves over the body of his 3-year-old grandson. Oh, my son, what has happened? What has happened? He mourns. Hundreds of the dead were children, an entire generation of a slum bordering the Union Carbide plant where the poisonous gas was released. Families gathered for informal services over the funeral pyres. Afterwards, they picked through the ashes for pieces of bone, which, by tradition, they'll consign to one of India's sacred rivers. Authorities said 200 of the victims, unidentified, were burned in whatever space was available. Some survivors began returning to their neighborhoods close to the plant. Many of them, blinded by the gas, were led arm in arm back to their homes. Doctors don't know if any of these people will regain their sight. Survivors told how the gas spread out of the plant, striking down some and sparing others.
Those who went this way with their children are all dead. The people who went the other way survived like me.
Others, still afraid to return to the area, remained at refugee centers where they received emergency supplies. The army, which put down communal riots last month, is now mobilized to help treat a wave of new victims who are just starting to show effects of the gas. Indian officials say they want Union Carbide to compensate these people with as much money as Americans would receive. But the government here has so far earmarked only $20 in aid for each of the people affected by the gas. Jonathan Mann for CBC News, New Delhi.
External Affairs Minister Joe Clark says Canada shares the horror of the gas disaster in India. And he says the government has contacted Indian officials to find out if Canada can help and how. 95 miners were trapped in a cave-in at a coal pit in Taiwan today. 1 miner survived, but there's very little chance any of the others will be found alive. Relatives waited at the pit, hoping for a miracle. But 27 bodies have been found so far, and the pit is filled with deadly carbon monoxide gas. It's the 3rd mine disaster in Taiwan in the last 6 months. Hijackers holding a Kuwaiti airliner in Tehran released more of their hostages today. But there are still 94 people on board, and the hijackers say they'll blow the plane up unless Palestinian prisoners in Kuwait are set free. The hijackers also say the passenger they killed yesterday was an American diplomat, but American officials have not confirmed that. Konstantin Chernenko says his top priority in the talks on disarmament will be to end President Reagan's Star Wars program. The Soviet president says weapons in space would increase the danger of a nuclear war.